Imagine for a moment that you are in a quiet place, nothing but your own breathing. Then, suddenly, someone presses play, and you hear a recording of yourself. It's your voice, but it doesn't sound like you. It's strange, uncomfortable, insecure, maybe even irritating. This discomfort is more common than you think, and there is a deep psychological reason behind it. Today, you're going to discover the phenomenon called the voice mirror effect, and why our own brain insists on deceiving us when the subject is ourselves. Get ready, because what you're about to hear may forever change the way you perceive yourself. The illusion begins inside your head. Most people believe they simply have an ugly voice. That's the most common explanation. But science says otherwise. When you speak, there are two ways your voice reaches your brain. Number one, air conduction. It's the sound that comes out of your mouth, vibrates in the air, and reaches your ears. This is exactly how you hear other people. Bone conduction. This is the detail that changes everything. When you speak, the vibrations from your larynx spread through your skull and reach the inner ear from the inside. These vibrations make your voice deeper, fuller, richer. It's a kind of natural enhancer. Now guess what? A recording completely ignores this beautiful, deeper part of your voice. It only captures what's in the air. In other words, the version you like the least is precisely the most real for everyone except for you. That's why, when you listen to a recording, you're not hearing your true voice, but rather the voice others have always heard. Why does this feel so strange? The answer lies in one of the most basic principles of psychology. Familiarity comforts, strangeness frightens. We spend our whole lives hearing our voice in one way. Just one way. That voice, shaped by internal vibrations. The voice that sounds firm. That sounds reliable. The voice that makes sense inside our head. So, when we hear a recording, it's like meeting an alternate version of ourselves. A version we've never seen before. And the brain simply doesn't like that. This sensation has a name. The vocal self-alienation effect. It's when our own voice sounds like someone else's, and the brain automatically rejects it. But why? To understand this, we need to explore one of the darkest parts of the human mind, the self-ideal. The voice you hear is not the same voice you imagine. Your brain creates, throughout your life, an idealized image of who you are. It doesn't matter who you are. All of us carry an internal version, polished, flawless, almost cinematic of ourselves. Your inner voice is part of this construction. The recorded version of your voice, however, doesn't match this fantasy. It sounds thinner, higher, more irregular. It sounds vulnerable. It sounds unprotected. And humans have a natural aversion to feeling vulnerable. That's why hearing your own recorded voice triggers, even subtly, small internal alarms. Something isn't right. Something isn't under control. Something isn't as it should be. It's almost as if the brain says, that person can't be you. But there's an even deeper psychological detail, and perhaps a more disturbing one. When we speak, we control the entire process. We know the intention, the emotions, the tone. It's like driving a car. When we listen to a recording, we are just passengers. We have no control. Deep down, we're vulnerable to judgment, including our own. And then, another psychological phenomenon emerges. The amplified self-judgment bias. We judge ourselves 10 times more harshly than we judge others. This applies to appearance, behavior, and especially voice. The recording exposes our voice naked, without the mental filter, without self-projection, without the resonance effect that makes it prettier on the inside. It's like seeing a photo of yourself taken by someone who doesn't know how to take photos. It just doesn't look right. The voice that reveals what we don't want to see. This phenomenon also touches something intimate. The recorded voice brings out personality traits we usually hide. Maybe you notice your voice sounds more timid than you thought, or more insecure, or more serious, or more childish, or more aggressive, or more sensitive. It reveals nuances that slip by when we're speaking normally, but become evident when we listen from the outside. It's almost like hearing someone tell a secret about you. But not everything is psychological. Part of it is human evolution. Think of our ancestors. To survive, they needed to recognize their own voice. Essential for communication, cooperation, and group identity. But they never had a way to hear a recording. Meaning, the human brain did not evolve to deal with its own voice externally. This shock is, biologically, a strange, unnatural event. Something the brain interprets as an anomaly. This is one of the reasons why even voice professionals, singers, dubbers, actors, must train a lot to endure and get used to their recorded voice. It's not instinctive, it's learned. But now comes the most interesting part. Have you noticed how some people love their recorded voice? YouTubers, podcasters, presenters. How is that possible if we all have the same type of brain? The answer is simple. Exposure. The more you listen to your recorded voice, the more familiar it becomes. The more familiar, the less strange. The less strange, the more comfortable. And what once caused embarrassment becomes something neutral, then something acceptable, and eventually something you might even like. It's the same logic as the repetition effect. The brain starts by rejecting, then tolerating, then accepting, and, in some cases, even appreciating. The discomfort is not about the voice itself. It's about the initial surprise. Your brain simply does not like novelty. But what does this say about you? Actually, a lot. If you feel discomfort hearing your own voice, it may indicate 1. High self-awareness. You pay attention to your own details. You're sensitive to flaws. You're self-critical. A strong idealized self-image. You have high expectations of yourself, and the recorded voice breaks that fantasy for a moment. Natural rejection of the unfamiliar. Your brain is simply doing its job, protecting you from the unexpected. But there's a more philosophical side to this story. The voice you hear in your head is the voice of your internal world. The recorded voice is your voice in the external world. These two versions live in conflict. It's as if you had two selves coexisting, but rarely meeting. When the recording appears, these two universes collide. And that's why the sensation is so uncomfortable. It forces you to face a simple but powerful truth. You are not exactly who you think you are, and you never were. But there is a way to turn this in your favor. If you want to lose the fear or shame of your recorded voice, there is a path. It's not magic. It's science. Listen to your recorded voice every day for 30 seconds. Repetition erases strangeness and creates familiarity. Speak while recording yourself, and then listen. This brings internal and external perception closer. Adjust your breathing. Most ugly voice moments are actually uncontrolled breathing. Accept that your real voice is the one the world hears. And that's not a bad thing. It's simply true. Turn vulnerability into strength. Your real voice shows who you truly are. And that is power, not weakness. And in the end, why do we hate hearing our own voice? Because it reveals something essential about us. The version we create in our mind was never the same as the version we show the world. The recording is just a mirror. And like any mirror, it shows details we'd rather not see. The recorded voice exposes our most sincere nature. It reveals the naked truth of our identity. And few things are as uncomfortable as facing your own truth. But there is beauty in all of this. The voice you hear from the outside is the one that truly carries your stories. It is the one the world recognizes. It is the one that connects you to others. It is the one that lives even when you don't notice. And perhaps learning to love that voice is simply learning to love who you truly are. Thanks for watching. I'm sure you learned something new from this video. If you did, push the like button and subscribe to the channel.